Hello viewers, welcome to our daily bulletin. Let's start with today's headlines.
President Trương Tấn Sang highlights defense competence. Prime Minister urges effective socio-economic development measures at Cabinet meeting. Industry Minister engages in Q&A session.
Enhancing defense capabilities to sustain national security and territorial integrity is a key and constant task of the party, state and our people, with armed forces as core participants. President Trương Tấn Sang made the remarks at a working session with the Ministry of Defense in Hanoi on April the 1st. President Sang said the Vietnamese party and state have been pushing international cooperation to resolve issues pertaining to the border, seas and islands to create a stable environment and build borders of peace and friendship with other neighboring countries. He required the authorities concerned to pay great attention to improving local living standards in line with spurring economic growth and building a strong people-based defense. Participants at the meeting agreed that the work on protecting sovereignty, political security and social order in the border areas, seas and islands has been sustained, while the relationships between Vietnam and its border-sharing countries have increasingly grown and expanded. The section aimed to review recent border defense work and set out upcoming missions to protect the national border in the light of integration. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng has asked ministries and localities to continue the comprehensive and effective implementation of socio-economic development tasks in the time to come.
At a regular March meeting of the government in Hanoi on April 1st, the Prime Minister pointed out shortcomings and limitations in the economy that should be fixed, such as the high volume of bad debts, businesses' poor access to loans, and falling prices of agricultural products.
It is necessary to increase total investment demand and credit growth in combination with ensuring the quality of credit and solving bad debts, while speeding up the disbursement of public investments and better site clearance for key projects, particularly transport works.
The government leader emphasized the need to maintain macroeconomic stability. He urged ministries, agencies and localities to control market prices, ensure the demand-supply balance of goods, and strictly punish any acts of trading fake, smuggled or substandard products. They were also urged to focus on removing difficulties for businesses, improving the investment environment, and expanding domestic and foreign markets. The first quarter also saw more than 4,600 businesses with difficulties resume their operation, up 48.9% against the fourth quarter of last year.
Minister of Industry and Trade Vũ Huy Hoàng on April the 1st engaged in a Q&A section with the National Assembly Standing Committee on issues relating to her ministry's state management responsibility. At the section, Hoàng admitted the fact that foreign traders have bought agricultural products in Vietnam in recent years in the absence of designated representatives as required by law. He said his ministry was aware of the situation and reviewed the legal framework, especially the law on trade and the law on competitiveness, to deal with it. Under the law, foreign traders with no official representatives in Vietnam can only purchase Vietnamese goods through a local legal entity. However, many continued to violate this regulation. The ministry has instructed market management forces nationwide to prevent and settle this problem, he said, adding that since the beginning of this year, the phenomenon has not been seen in many localities. He said in the coming time, the ministry will continue to improve the enforcement capacity of competent forces, especially market watchdogs, in order to promptly prevent the illegal activity. Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc received advisor of the Harvest Vietnam program, Thomas Vallely, in Hanoi on March 31st.
Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc received advisor of the Harvest Vietnam program, Thomas Vallely, in Hanoi on March 31st. He noted his hope that Volani will continue helping with consolidating Vietnam-US cooperation, especially in education. He heard the contributions of Professor Volani, as well as the staff of the Vietnam Executive Leadership Program, which is a collaborative initiative of the Vietnamese government, UNDP, and the Vietnam program at Harvard Kennedy School. He said the program has created a forum for senior Vietnamese policymakers as well as business leaders to dialogue, based on a foundation of practical research on policy challenges that Vietnam and the world are facing. Professor Volani spoke highly of Vietnam's efforts to preserve cultural and education values and the country's renovation in socio-economic development over the past years. He affirmed that he would try his best to enhance the quality of Vietnamese teaching at U.S. universities, contributing to boosting education partnerships between the two countries. Launched in 1988, the Vietnam program aims to study Vietnam's socio-economic development using a multifaceted approach that combines research, teaching, and policy analysis.
A senior Norwegian diplomat has said her country wants to further strengthen cooperation with Vietnam in climate change.
Let me first welcome you to
Bente Ange Hansen, Secretary General of the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, made the remarks during an interview with VNews in Oslo.
I think that your work on climate change is a very, very important issue where we want to continue the cooperation we have, strengthen the cooperation we have. What we are doing on in the UN RED on the forestry side, what we are doing also on disaster preparedness with you. We believe this climate area and also the post-2015 agenda.
According to the Secretary General, Norway is continue expanding its cooperative ties with Vietnam, especially at the UN Human Rights. Regarding a free trade agreement between Vietnam and the European Free Trade Association states, the official said she believes that the two sides can fulfill their negotiation this year.
Yes, this is a negotiation also with our EFTA partners. We believe that we are optimistic that we should be able to finalize those, perhaps even this year. We see this as maturing the partnership, true partnerships to the benefit of both nations. And let me here say how impressed we are with the economic growth over the years in your country. Some years ago, that is up to 2010, you were a least developed country. Now you are a middle-income country.
According to the diplomat, the Vietnamese community is integrating well in Norway, and they are helping the two countries understand each other better.
They integrate very well in our country. They are hardworking people, and we believe through also what they are doing, for example, in the restaurant area, they are helping bridge building the bridges between Vietnam and Norway to understand each other better. And we are learning, about the life in Vietnam also through the community here, really contributing to the economy and to the culture.
Bente Ange Hansen also expressed her wish that more and more Vietnamese tourists will visit Norway in the future.
A report launched by the Asian Development Bank on April the 1st forecast Vietnam's economic growth to rise slightly to 5.6% this year. According to the Asian Development Outlook 2014, the rate will pick up further to 5.8% in 2015 with economic recovery in the US and the Euro area, and as progress is made in addressing domestic banking sector weaknesses. The country's inflation is expected to average 6.2% in 2014, assuming reasonably stable food production, moderate policy stimulation, and only slight depreciation of the Vietnam dong, and 6.6% in 2015 as economic activity picks up. Addressing the press briefing, ADB Country Director for Vietnam Tomoyuki Kimura said economic growth should benefit from several measures taken by the government to mitigate vulnerabilities in the banking sector. He added, attracting private investment, mainly through the public-private partnership, will contribute to funding projects, but also help gain access to international expertise and technology that improves the quality of social and physical infrastructure. A sound regulatory framework for public-private partnership can improve inclusiveness and quality of public service delivery, he said. Vietnam exports of wood and wooden products in the first quarter of this year increased by more than 20% against the same period last year to $1.4 billion.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the figure included $490 million in takings in March alone. The U.S. and China were Vietnam's largest wood and timber product importers in the first 3 months, accounting for nearly 53% of the industry's total export value. Exports to the U.S. and China rose nearly 20% and more than 57% year-on-year in the review quarter, respectively. According to the Vietnam Timber and Forest Product Association, Vietnam aims to earn $6.2 billion from export of wood and timber products this year. The target is feasible as local exporters have signed a significant number of contracts. Bilateral and multilateral agreements, including the European Forest Law Enforcement, Governance and Trade, and Voluntary Partnership Agreement, expected to be signed this year, will be a good opportunity for Vietnam. The country currently only had access to markets in Germany, France, Britain, and Spain. If it could export to the 27 European Union countries, market potential would grow.
Experts said non-professional services, poor tours and weak cooperation among localities are the main reasons that tourism has not developed well in the Mekong Delta region.
At a recent conference in Cần Thơ City, Deputy Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism Hồ Tuấn Anh said the number of foreign visitors was limited and those who did visit did not stay long. He said tourism products are unattractive and often overlap in purpose, adding that tours in Tiền Giang, Bến Tre and Vĩnh Long are similar. The Mekong Delta region is defined as one of the country's 7 key tourism areas. In 2013, it welcomes 1.6 million foreign visitors, accounting for only 8.3% of the total foreign visitors coming to Vietnam. Regional turnover from tourism in the year was $250,000, or 2.7% of the national figure. Deputy Minister Tuấn spoke about the setting up of a coordinating board that would act as a leader and coordinator for regional tourism activities. He said in the next 3 months, the institute would set up a plan to develop typical tourism products for the region. Other participants at the conference suggested developing homestays and luxury accommodations and improving the quality of infrastructure and tourism staff. By 2015, the region expects to need more than 37,000 rooms for 2.7 million foreign visitors and 5.7 million domestic visitors. By 2020, the total would be 3.9 million foreign tourists and 6.5 million domestic tourists. To meet the demand, the area would need 50,000 rooms.
A traditional festival to pray for bumper holes of fish and safe voyages at sea was held in the central coastal province of Phú Yên on March 30th and 31st. The festival was part of the ongoing 2014 Vietnam Seafood Festival.
The Cầu Ngư Festival is held annually in the central coastal region. It also aims to commemorate fishermen who died at sea and pray for peace, happiness and prosperity throughout the year. Art troops from 5 central provinces of Quảng Ngãi, Bình Định, Phú Yên, Khánh Hòa and Ninh Thuận performs at the festival. Besides the main ritual, a procession of a whale guard, this year's events comprise special martial arts performances by Bình Định and Ninh Thuận men. The 2-day festival offers a chance for locals and visitors to understand more about each locality's culture, fostering their pride in the country's sea and islands.
And that wraps up our program today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.